Transformers: Rise of the Beast is finally out and is starring Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback. And the director is Stephen Caple Jr., who is the director of Creed 2. And when I see this movie, The Transformers: Rise of the Beast, I was able to see it early at AMC, and they were able to provide you like this poster of the Rise of the Beast for like the Beast Transformers. And they also give you like this nice patch as well if you guys see it based on the lighting because my lighting is trash. But is the movie actually good? Is it very entertaining? Is it a lot better than any of the Michael Bay's films that we already saw? Well, the answer is
Yes! Yeah!
yes, this film was a lot better than anything that Michael Bay would have done for the Transformers franchise. This one was very well polished and very well clean when it came down to the actions and the environment. And it was very well fleshed out and it was very well done. It wasn't very chaotic how Michael Bay does. There was actual explosions when there need to be explosions. And there were just a lot of crazy fight scenes when it needed to be a lot of crazy like action. And of course, the last battle of the Transformers, where you get to see everyone make a shine. You get to see the Autobots make a shine. You get to see the primal Transformers people were able to get the shine as well. And I remember I saw Beast Force when I was like 5 years old. And I remember seeing a couple of episodes before like it ended, but like I remember them. So I was very happy to see that they were able to get a shine from that. And I remember seeing a couple of episodes of Transformers as well when I was a kid, but they weren't for me as well. I was more into the Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z, more of the anime aspects of that. But overall, I was very entertained with the movie. It was very enjoyable. And I see if the movie people will say that it was okay because it's a lot, like I said, it's a lot better than the Michael Bay's films. And when it came down to the action, there were certain action sequence that it wasn't explosions, like it wasn't any craziness. It was a real good action sequence where they focused on the car doing the action sequence. And then when it came down to the Transformers, when they did their battles in certain scenes, it was very, very clean as well. So there were just certain things that was just very well choreographed, especially when it came down to the final battle where we get to see everyone shine. We get to see the Autobots shine and we get to see the Maximals. They were able to shine. Now, one of the negatives is that we don't really see the Maximals throughout the whole entire movie. They're not really a main factor, even though the title says Rise of the Beast. They're pretty much there through half of the movie, like towards the second half of the movie, and they only focus on Air Razor and Optimus Primal. There are the only two Maximums, Autobots that they actually focus on, and the rest they don't really showcase that much. But even if they did showcase the other characters as well, you do see them able to do like at least some action sequence that was very more impactful. And they do showcase the difference between the Maximals and the Autobots, not just by like one is animals and one is kind of like a robot being person. It's just the sounds, because when the Maximum shows up, they have this unique, loud, vibrating sound. And then with the Autobots, they have their own sound as well. But one of the best part is seeing Optimus Prime and Primal is working together to actually defeat one villain. But the sad and the negative part is that I wish it was Scourge, who is the main villain. I wish Optimus and Primal they worked together to actually defeat Scourge. But Peter Cullen as Optimus did a fantastic job. And Ron, who plays as, Primal, he did a fantastic job as well. And it was really good to see how these guys actually interact with each other, especially the arc where Optimus Prime is in, because he's holding the burden that the Autobots are in Earth and they have been in Earth for a while, and he's trying to bring them back. And that's why he wants this key, because he doesn't care about anything about the humans. He actually hates the humans. Like, Optimus Prime in this movie, he's very insufferable and he just only trusts his Autobots. He don't trust nobody else. And it came to a point where Primal, when he meets him, he was just like, it was an honor to meet you. But then when he sees how Optimus is acting throughout this whole movie, he's just like, you know what, bro? Like, I feel bad. Like, I looked up to you and stuff like that. So it was just really great to see the character arc of like how Optimus Prime is and like how later on he changed and he starts to trust humans again. And of course, this whole movie it focuses on a MacGuffin because there's this key that the Autobots need so that they can go back to, Cybertron. But Unicron and Scourge, they're up there trying to get the key so that way, Unicron can go ahead and eat more planets. But the primals, they're all there to try to like stop this from happening. And so they separate the key and they scatter it throughout the whole world. And then with the help of Noah, who plays as Anthony Ramos and Dominique, they go on ahead and help find the key so that way, it won't goes into the wrong hands. And of course, the last sequence of like this battle, it was really great to see all the Autobots and the Maximums working together to take down the enemies. And when the enemy was Scourge and his lackeys, when they first showed up, man, they were very powerful. They were so badass. And like they just pretty much make sure like the Autobots, you know, they're nothing. And so when it came down to like towards like the middle action sequence and towards the like ending, like the last final battle, it was really great to see how, they all got like beaten up and whooped. Now, Pete Davis did a fantastic job in his role as Mirage, and he was very likable, very funny. He brought what the movie was lacking, which was just the funniness and like pretty much the down to earthness. Because when it came down to his character and his interaction, especially with him and Noah, it was so refreshing, and you just actually love the relationship because they did care for each other, and you do feel like they were boys and they're there to like just protect each other and make sure no harm is there, especially with Noah, him, and his little brother as well. One of the things that I did love about this movie that it is kind of set in the 1990s, so all of the theme in the movie was in like the 90s. You have the soundtracks that were like big hits in the 90s. You have people wearing clothes, the jokes, the slang, just everything that you have seen in the 90s or experienced in the 90s, it's there in the movie. And they just never like drawn back out it. Like, so it felt like they were in the 90s. So that was a great thing that they did. But other than that, the few flaws that they had was that, the Maximals, they weren't there and throughout the whole movie. They were only there for like half of the movie and they didn't really play a big role in the movie. The movie is very formulaic. It does feels like sometimes like you did see this movie before, and it does follow the formula of a Transformer movie. Also, as well, they didn't go into details of the backstory of Noah because they mentioned that he was a soldier, but they just only mention it twice and they don't really go into full details on like why. And even if they did, it's just like a 2 second thing. So it just doesn't really goes well with that. But overall, the movie was actually good. It was actually okay. And it was very enjoyable. You guys would actually just enjoy eating your popcorn and just want to see robots beating each other. Then this is a movie for you. And honestly, I feel like this is one of the piles of a good Transformer movie that was just dying to be needed. So this was just an okay movie. If I have to give it a grade, I will have to give this a B. And then if I have to give it a score, I will give it a 7. So that's just how I will rate this movie because this movie is pretty okay. It does has its those moments, but then at the same time, we're just here for the action and we just happy that Michael Bay is not actually doing these Transformers movies anymore. But other than that, let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about this movie, what's your thought process, how you guys feel, your ratings, and everything else. But other than that, if you guys do like the video, please give it a like, subscribe, and remember, always be decent. This is the Monotone Man, and hope you guys have a wonderful day and be safe out here. Peace.